Tributes have been paid to the former Taíniste and Fine Gael deputy leader Peter Barry, who has died at the age of 88. The Taoiseach said Mr Barry gave outstanding service to his country and to his native city of Cork. President Michael D. Higgins praised his role as Minister for Foreign Affairs in negotiating the Anglo-Irish Agreement.
As Minister for Foreign Affairs, Peter Barry was one of the main politicians who helped broker the Anglo-Irish Agreement in 1985. An agreement viewed today as the foundation stone of the peace process that followed less than a decade later. His determination to make the agreement a success was always evident despite much opposition. The quest for peace was one of the key reasons he entered politics in 1969, he would later say.
I couldn't believe that on this small island with 5 million people, we couldn't find a solution that would allow us work together without any diminution of any of our political ambition in the future.
He was a passionate and convinced nationalist. He didn't like partition, but he knew that the way forward was to find a peaceful way to reconcile differences.
Regarded by many as the best Taoiseach the country never had, Mr Barry was also a very successful businessman. From small beginnings, his wholesale tea business in Cork would go on to become one of the country's most iconic brands.
The number one issue is definitely unemployment. Unemployment in Cork in the last...
He played ground hurling when it had to be played in politics. And to that extent there was a great regard for himself, for his father and indeed his family.
A widely respected minister, he served at the Departments of Transport, Education and Environment. And he was Taíniste for a brief period in 1987. But Mr Barry was unsuccessful that year in his bid to replace Garret Fitzgerald as Fine Gael leader.
I think he'd be remembered within Fine Gael for his exceptional loyalty and his ability to find unity in the party in many of the difficult moments that we had in the last 40 years.
Mr Barry retired from politics in 1997 and he was succeeded in Leinster House that year by his daughter Deirdre Clune.